passionate discussion swirls around Toyota's position on pure battery electric vehicles. Some vilify the automotive behemoth for not taking the market or environmental concerns seriously. The flip side claims it's better to lower emissions by building bunches of gas-electric hybrids. I'm Tom Voelk for EV Universe, and the bZ4X is a pure BEV. The Big T says it can pump out 900,000 Prii or 600,000 RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrids using the same amount of battery material that goes into the 10,000 bZ4Xs it plans to bring into the US annually. The awkward moniker means something. BZ stands for Beyond Zero, X is for crossover body style, 4 is the size. A smaller bZ4X has already been shown. This Toyota has a twin, the Subaru Soltera. The big difference is a couple trim pieces, and the Subi is only available with all-wheel drive, which makes sense. You have a choice with the Toyota, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Subaru plans on selling Soltera in all 50 states. The BZ is available in selected ones for now, so check your local dealer if you want this badge on your EV. Pricing for the Toyota starts at $43,300 for a base XLE model. This front-drive limited MSRPs for just over $49,000 with the black roof option. Made in Japan, it's not eligible for federal tax credits. Check with your state. You might have heard the original batch of bZ4Xs had an issue where the wheels could come loose. That's been fixed with new alloys, bolts, and washers. Time to play frunk or no frunk. Okay, the consolation prize is more foot and storage room in the cabin for those up front. Total power from the single-motor front-drive model is 201 horsepower and 196 pound-feet of instant torque. All-wheel drive ups the oomph to 214 horses. If you've seen the new Prius, this will look familiar. Change directions here. The BZ uses a single-speed transmission. The 71.4 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery lays flat underneath the passengers, the usual EV setup. In all-wheel drive models, it grows by 1.4 kilowatt-hours and is sourced from a different supplier. The pack is liquid-cooled and can deliver up to 252 miles of range, according to EPA estimates, depending on model plus front or rear drive. Extra recuperation drag can be added with this button. No degrees, it's an on or off proposition. Drive modes are distinct enough so that all pilots should notice the difference. Typically with EVs, adding a second motor for all-wheel drive boosts the power significantly. Not so much with the bZ4X. This front driver will do the 0 to 60 dash in about 7 seconds. With all-wheel drive, it drops about a half a second, so really, it's more about traction and stability. Sometimes powerful front-wheel drive vehicles have torque steer, that tugging of the wheel under hard acceleration. Not the bZ4X. On average, the BZ weighs 4,400 pounds. All-wheel drive adds around 65 lbs. Some electric vehicles get super coolly-neato performance sounds piped into the cabin. They're synthetic. The bZ4X? None of that. It's completely natural, just electric motor sound, and very faint. Like many EVs, this is quiet around town. At highway speeds, 70 and over, there's some road noise heard, plus the smooth rushing of wind over the body. You know the whole thing about EVs, they have their heavy batteries in the floor, so it lowers the center of gravity. That makes bZ4X kind of fun to chuck into corners. Not tons of road feel, but there is some, and the steering weight is very nice, just about perfect. This handles well. Body roll and dive are nicely checked, and typically that means a firm, uncomfortable suspension. But not here. The Toyota engineers have worked a little bit of magic. It's comfortable, but still engaging. Nicely done. It's not Supra-grade handling. You won't be driving the wheels off it, but it's a good real-world setup. If you're into sport and your spouse wants comfort, here's your middle ground. Let's talk range. It's what everybody wants to know about in an EV. The EPA rates the front-wheel drive limited bZ4X that I'm driving at 242 miles. but it's been cold in Seattle, the high 30s, low 40s, so I am not going to be getting that. Closer to 210, which is pretty good. FYI, a good half of my driving was done at highway speeds. Many competitors go farther, and there are more and more choices in the EV world these days. Mustang Mach-E, Ioniq 5, EV6, Model Y, ID4, Aria, Niro EV, and Bolt EUV, and more coming. A lot of EV owners have come to love one-pedal driving. The bZ4X doesn't really have an aggressive setting. Even when you push the button, it takes a while for this car to come to a complete stop, and even then, you really need to use the brake pedal. Something to keep in mind on your test drive. The gauge cluster is very simple. A power graphic shows how efficiently you're accelerating and what your regen is. Some of the information is small and not so easy to read. One thing to keep in mind on your test drive, the gauge cluster. It's at a level where a head-up display would be. It's up high, so you're looking over the steering wheel, not through the steering wheel. Some people like it, some people don't. You're going to have to decide for yourself. Personally, I have no trouble seeing it with the seat in a comfortable driving position. Visibility is decent in the BZ, and Toyota Safety Sense 3 ADAS, that's standard, includes blind spot monitoring. The semi-autonomous driving tech in bZ4X is good stuff. On the highway, it stays pretty much locked in its lane. It doesn't wander around. It takes gentle curves very confidently. The adaptive cruise is nice and smooth. No, this is not Super Cruise, but it compares very well to the excellent Hyundai Group's Highway Driving Assist 2. Toyota has partnered up with EVgo for a full year of free fueling. Remember, charging speed depends on a lot of things. Ambient temperature, if the pack is nearly spent, if it's preconditioned, and how much power the terminal can deliver. It's much cheaper and more convenient to charge at home. This will juice up overnight. Quicker speeds at commercial terminals make a difference if you travel a lot. Electric vehicles have max charge rates, meaning the fastest that they'll juice up at DC fast chargers like this. bZ4X isn't particularly fast, tops 150 kilowatts, and that's with the front-wheel drive version. The all-wheel drive drops to 100 kilowatts. Yeah, they're different. Also, my experience is the charge curve is not overly aggressive. At 40 degrees at a 150 kilowatt-hour station, 7% to 80% took some 50 minutes, throttling back dramatically once hitting that threshold. Seems like Toyota's protecting the pack, always going for reliability. This is the top trim limited model, so it's the spendiest looking BZ interior. It's nice. There's a Lexus RZ coming if it's not up to your standards. Cloth on the dash? That's different. There's a good amount of piano black. This cabin is a leather-free zone. Chairs are heated and vented. The smallish wheel with lots of controls is toasty. A radiant heat panel underneath the instrument panel is optional. The HVAC system is a heat pump. Small bags stash here, door pockets are large and roomy, and there are a few little useful cubbies, but no traditional glove box. Underneath a removable section here, there's a secret storage compartment to hide things from thieves, but I guess I just gave that away. I'm not sure if the wide expanse between the display and the wheel is a good place to put things, especially if the wheel gets adjusted all the time. The car would have to be upside down before drinks came out of the deep cup holders, and the glass roof is standard on all models. Toyota has a new user interface. It was developed in-house, and it's much better than the outgoing version. It does rely on a data plan for full functionality. Welcome to the future of subscriptions, folks. It's largely voice-based, using the wake phrase, "Hey Toyota,
what can I do for you?"
Set the temperature to 74 degrees.
Setting the driver's seat temperature to 74 degrees.
There are a good amount of controls on this panel here to do things manually. The phone charge pad takes up a lot of real estate, but it works well. Look closely, there's a see-through pattern. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are wireless, and those do many things with voice prompts as well. And they're free, just saying. Plus, you can run apps like ChargeWay to easily locate places to juice up. The back seat has decent room. Compared to RAV4, it's a smidge smaller in most dimensions. There's no separate climate zone. Heated seats are an option not on this car. 2 adults will be comfortable as long as they aren't tall. There is no spare tire back here, just a repair kit. The security cover doesn't have to be left behind, and the supplied travel charge cord has a home. Nothing in the way of bag hooks or straps. It's a big stretch to the seat release when dropping the backs, so chances are there will be bumper schmutz on your Levi's, or walk around, there's always that. Toyota doesn't have a measurement for cargo space in this configuration, but as you can see, there's no pass-through or 40-20-40 split. With all seats usable, this is just shy of 28 cubic feet. Toyota had time to study the competition and learn from those vehicles, but cars like EV6 and Ioniq 5 still feel like the ones to beat. Plus, there's the gaff with the wheels. That doesn't help. The automaker has taken a conservative approach here. No surprise, that's the Toyota way. And let's not forget, it did have an EV before this, a joint venture with Tesla, the RAV4 EV. bZ4X won't be sold in the same numbers as Camry or RAV4 and won't satisfy critics that feel Toyota is dragging its feet on battery electric vehicles. But brand loyalists have an EV they can call their own, even if the name is kind of weird. For EV Universe, I'm Tom Voelk.